In continuation with third session of the fifth unit, now we'll continue with protocols and standards. What are the protocols and what are the different standards for the designing of the networks? So we'll go through what the protocols are. So protocol is a set of rules that govern the data communications. So as to have the successful communication of data within a network, it has to follow some set of rules that are designed for the network, and that is what the protocols is. Then only the communication can be held. Now what are the key elements of the protocols? Every protocol can be studied in the categories of what is the syntax of that protocol, semantics and timing. What does it mean? Syntax indicates structure or format of the data. Now suppose we are going to have the communication, digital data communication. So whenever we have to have the communication between the two nodes within a network, then the data will be converted. Suppose the original data is in the form of a electrical form, so it would be converted into appropriate analog form into the digital form, and then over the transmission media the digital data would be transmitted. At the receiver end again it would be converted from digital to electrical into the audio form. So whenever the transmission takes place, there has to have some structure of the data in which it should be transferred to the media. So during the transmission it has to follow some structure, and that structure is called as a syntax. For example, transmitted bit has some set of bits wherein first 8 bits indicates what was the address of the sender, second byte indicates the receiver address to which it is intended, and rest of the message or set of bits within a message, it indicates actual contents of the message. That is what the syntax is. So now what the semantics means? Semantics is required to extract the information conveyed. That is what meaning of each section of bits. Even if a 8-bit indicates sender address, so the 8-bit, how it conveys the address of the sender, how it conveys the receiver address, how to extract exact address from that, it should be understood, and that is given by the semantics. So in short, if there is a pattern of address of 8 bits, then it may also indicate what is the action to be taken. If the particular set of 8 bits indicates, some of the cases it may also indicate the route which should be followed by the packet from source to the destination. So it may be indicating address to identify the route, or it may be destination of the message. So that is nothing but it may be address or a route to which it should follow so as to go to the destination. That is what the semantics is. What does the timing indicates? Timing indicates when to forward the packets, how fast it is to be forwarded. So it has to have the synchronization between sender and receiver through the transmission media. So timing part of the protocol takes care of this. Suppose sender speed and receiver speed should match with each other in short. So it should not be delayed response at the receiver side, nor it should be overloaded at the receiver side. So there has to have the synchronization between the speed of the sender and the speed of the receiver. That is given by the timing details of the protocol. So when and how fast the data should be sent. Now next important part again along with the protocols is the standards. What are the standards? Standards create and maintain an open and competitive market for equipment manufacturers and in guaranteeing the national and international interoperability. So what is the need of standards that is being indicated here? So as to maintain the open and competitive market, it should be healthy environment, and the required standards should be maintained. It should be mentioned properly. So what does the standards do? Standards provide guidelines to manufacturers, guidelines for the vendors, given by the different government agencies and by the service providers. So the standards are necessary. So data communication standards can be categorized into two ways. These are called as a de facto standards or de jure standards. What does it mean? These are certain set of rules or the standards which are not been approved by the organized bodies, different organizations and bodies, but these are adopted by well-known manufacturers and vendors. So de facto. So this is by convention. So based upon the requirements, such standards are designed and these are adopted. What does the de jure mean? De jure indicates its meaning by word is by law or by regulation. So these are the set of standards that have been legislated by an officially recognized body, and these are called as a de jure. So what are the different standards? So these standards are ISO, International Organization for Standardization, ITU, International Telecommunication Union for the Telecommunication Standards, ANSI, American National Standards Institute, like Electronic Industries Association, EIA, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, IEEE. So these are the certain officially recognized bodies. So if the standards are designed by these, then this comes under the de jure. Along with the standard organizations, the forums and different regulatory agencies may also be involved in designing these standards for data communication. Now, what are the different network models? So what a network is? A network is a combination of hardware and software that sends data to one another. So hardware has a physical equipment that carries signals from one point to another point within a network. So the network has hardware and software parts. Actual transmission of data takes place through the hardware while it is controlled by the software. So how it controls? Software has a set of instructions that makes possible services for the network. So hardware and software both combine together that designs the network. Take an example. Task of sending an email from one location of the world to another location, one point to another point. So this complete task of sending an email may be broken into several tasks, each performed by a separate software package. Yes, some hardware and software is involved. Softwares can be again, separate software packages are there. Combiningly all together perform this task of sending an email. A software package uses the services of another software package. As this task is divided into several tasks, so maybe several tasks may be completed by a set of different softwares. So at the lower level, a signal or a set of signal is sent from source computer to the destination computer. So this task is also performed in different levels at different layers. So at the lowest level, where actual data transmission takes place, it can be transferred from source computer to the destination computer. But above that, upper highest levels, the different software packages are involved. Now let us see how the layered tasks work. Actually, whenever a task is divided into multiple small tasks, this can be divided into the certain set of layers. So concept of layers is used in our daily life too. Suppose there are two friends and they want to do the communication through the postal mails. Now, whenever we have to send one particular letter, specifically calling it as a postal mail from one friend to another friend, friend A want to send the message to the friend B, but by using the services provided by the post office. Now let us categorize this task into small tasks and divide it into certain set of layers. Now what are the different activities that has to be taken at the sender side? So sender has to write the letter. After completing that part, then the letter should be inserted into an envelope. At the back of the envelope, the sender will write the address of the sender as well as the receiver address to which it is meant to send, and drops the letter in the particular mailbox. So that envelope which contains actual message and the letter, it will be dropped into the mailbox. So this I will call happens at the highest level. Now what happens after that? The letter is picked up by letter carrier and deliver it to the post office. That is, let us categorize it. This happens at the middle layer. So posted letter dropped into the mailbox, it will be picked up by the particular postman or the carrier and it will be delivered to the post office, main post office. Let us call it as a middle layer. After that, the letter is sorted at the post office and based upon the location and the areas, it will be dispersed ahead for the delivery, that is a carrier transports the letter that exists at the lower layer. So all these activities are happening at the sender side. So these are the different layers, higher level, middle layer and the lower layer. So these are the important. Make a note of these layers and how we divided the task, because same need to be synchronized at the receiver side. On the way, what happens when from one post office to another post office based upon the area, now carrier will be carrying the letter along with the envelope to the next post office. So how this can happen? On the way to the recipient's local post office, the letter actually goes through the central office. It may be transported by different transportation medias, by truck, train, airplane, boat, or maybe the combination of all these medias based upon the availability and based upon the distance, of course. Now at the receiver side. So at the receiver side, once it is delivered to the particular post office, now carrier transports the letter to the post office. This happens at the lower layer. How the sequence should be understood. So higher level to higher level, how the communication takes place. Now the carrier transports letter to the post office through the transmission media. Now letter is sorted and delivered to the recipient's mailbox from the particular main post office where the carrier has dropped the letter. Based upon the location, letter is sorted and delivered to the recipient's mailbox where he or she resides. This happens at the middle layer. Now last level is, the sequence has been by mistake has been written a wrong way. It should be 1, 2, 3. The receiver picks up the letter, opens the envelope and reads it. That happens at the higher level. So we have seen at the sender side, higher level, the sender has written the level, dropped it into the envelope and written the address and dropped it into the mailbox. Exactly reverse is the procedure taking place at the receiver side, but it happens at the same layer, that is at the higher layer. So let us try to represent this in a picture form. So sender, there is a sender. This is happens at the higher level. Sender has written the letter, put in the envelope and dropped in the mailbox. And at the receiver end, letter is picked by the receiver, removed from the envelope and read. So the message has been conveyed. And this happens at the highest level. But when it is moving from highest level from the sender, and when it reaches to the highest level at the receiver end, it has to go through some intermediate stages. And at the lowest level, what happens? Actual transmission takes place through the media. So this is importance of the lower layers. That is a lower layer. So this is the sequence, how it transfers from top level to the lower layer to lower layer at the receiver side, and again it is how it is moving to the upside from lower to the highest level. So taking the same analogy, we'll moving ahead with the OSI model, and let us try to interpret the same things in terms of the networks, how it works. So here the important part is hierarchy level. So the important part to have the successful communication is there are 3 different activities taken place at the sender side and another 3 activities at the receiver side. The task of transporting the letter between the sender and the receiver is done by the carrier, and tasks must be done in an order in the hierarchy. So the sequence of writing the letter, dropping the letter and picking up by the carrier, this should be in a sequence, and that is what the importance of the protocols is. That is, timing matters there. Services provided. If you see minutely, each layer at the sender side uses the services of the layer immediately below it. After writing the letter, it is to be dropped into the mailbox. Then only it has to take the help of the postman who will be picking it from the mailbox and carried it ahead. So each layer is sending the details to the layer below it and taking the help of that. Sender at the higher level uses the services of the middle layer. Then middle layer uses services of the lower layer, and the lower layer uses services of the carrier. And exactly reverse procedure takes place at the receiver end. So every layer takes the help of the services provided by the lower layer. That is in conclusion and briefly how